Well, whoever thought transparency would be such a touchy subject this legislative session? For years, transparency has been the mantra of Idaho's majority party when it comes to budgets, elections, pandemics. But when the topic has been brought up in the form of a couple of bills this session, suddenly transparency gets a little bit heated, and the debate does as well. This is what happened. This has happened, I should say, with who's paying for lawmakers' travel and the latest version, which is holding lobbyists to a higher standard at the State House. But as Joe Paris found out ahead of the final vote today, some lawmakers either didn't quite understand the bill or at least claimed to not understand. What is this in front of me?
Yeah, we heard extended debate in the Idaho Senate from lawmakers who believe transparency for lobbyists, well, that would somehow impact everyday Idahoans who want to communicate their feelings to their elected representatives. They're making this a First Amendment thing. The question is, did they read the bill or was there a misunderstanding of it? House Bill 398 looks to elevate lobbyists to a higher standard of reporting their spending to influence lawmakers and how they vote. This year, the indirect lobbying effort has actually exploded in Idaho. The Secretary of State testified multiple times in committee to say so. What we've learned is that out-of-state groups, they're spending big money to try and get people to contact their lawmakers to influence how they vote, indirect lobbying. Under current law, though, the reporting requirements for lobbyists, they're minimal compared to campaign finance, has a higher tier. But a segment of lawmakers say they're a no on the concept. Here's why.
If we have a constituent drive from Idaho Falls, it's going to cost them more than $100 a day to drive here from Idaho Falls to talk to their legislator. When your constituents come over here and they buy gas for their car, they buy a meal, they maybe have to pay a babysitter if they have children, are they going to be dissuaded from coming to their state house?
I'm just not quite sure if the citizen advocacy part is clarified enough to my liking on this.
So a major pushback, I should say, from lawmakers who say that the bill simply doesn't say that. They say that this is about knowing how Idaho lawmakers are influenced, not silencing everyday Idahoans. Senator Shippey read from the bill ahead of the vote who is exempt, who, according to code in this bill, who's not a lobbyist.
If they are not being directly compensated for the purpose of lobbying for legislation or to influence a decision, it doesn't matter how much money they are spending of their own, they are exempt.
What about the farmer who calls his neighbor? Now he's going to have to register. I will submit to you again, this does not expand the definition of lobbyist. So when the lobbyist is online spending money like a madman on Facebook, they're going to have to start reporting it.
And maybe I should clarify for the senator there. He's saying that the farmer who calls his neighbors who are also farmers saying we should reach out to our lawmaker and ask them to do this. They're not paid to do that. So they wouldn't have to file anything as a lobbyist. They're just a regular person expressing their opinion. So Governor Little will get the final say on this, depending on how he reads it. And Brian, nobody outright said during the debate that they don't want transparency for lobbyists. No one would say that on the floor. But I did already hear questions from Idahoans about why would somebody vote against this?
Yeah, they do put up a big fight about that. It's interesting what they say could be up to interpretation when it comes to these bills and what bills they say, that'll never be interpreted that way. It's selective. All right, thank you very much, Joe.